Last month at the MCM Comic-Con, we got our very first look of a blurry image via the space bridge of our Transformers Studio Series Voyager class war for Cybertron Ironhide. And it was hard to see what it was, how it looked, how it turned out. But today, via In Demand Toys, we now have some official stock photos of the product, every inch, every shape and form, how it's going to look, packaging and that. So we got our very first look of this dude, and we're going to jump into it like we always do here on the Transformer Slag podcast and keeping you educated, entertained, and informed on our hobby. And the first thing we're going to do is look at the packaging here, because it's all about that new uniform Studio Series boxes that we got going into 2025. So once again, we don't have that numbering system anymore. The steps for the transformation is right up front on the product. In this case, 28 steps for this Voyager class Ironhide from War for Cybertron. And you clearly see that they're putting a deep focus on character, copy, and branding, which I'm sure is a very calculated choice by Hasbro investing in the future. Again, gone is that whole Gamer Edition naming for sub-branding within Studio Series and the segmentations. And now we just have a featuring of the War for Cybertron video game logo by Activision. We have 2 pieces of character art using CG renders of Ironhide in both robot mode and alt mode. And even on the back, we have a screenshot from the Activision video game, as well as a small piece of copy, in this case saying who Ironhide is and his goals within the Activision War for Cybertron video game with Dark Energon and everything. So interesting. It's very interesting the way that they're going about it. It's very different than what we had before with Studio Series. And with all the rumors that we have with the Activision games supposedly coming back on platforms, and clearly something is cooking here with all these call to actions and iconography on the packaging. So it's very interesting to say the least. Let's talk about the figure itself though. So again, we don't have the insert that's long gone from Studio Series in 2025, the background insert, but the figure itself is indeed a retool, as expected, of the Transformers Studio Series Gamer Edition 09 Voyager class War for Cybertron Ratchet, which already when you just do, we'll go back to packaging for a moment, already when you do a side-by-side with the packaging, you could already see that despite how closely tied these 2 molds are to each other and featured in the same video game, how very different the box art is already going to look side by side and with just a few months between them. So we're entering a new era of Studio Series going into 2025, and even in visuals. So when we look at the Ironhide toy itself and comparing it to what has been changed with the Ratchet, not much is noticeable when we start with, let's say, the vehicle mode. Outside of the new tooling of the front grille, which is not really noticeable, and some well-placed deco put in different places to kind of really break it up, it shares more or less the same look between the two, just really a new coat of paint. It's not really that noticeable in the alt mode here. But when you get into the robot mode, that's when things become more obvious that this is a big retooling and partial from the Ratchet. First, we have the new head, which is a given considering the history between these 2 characters. You got to have the different head sculpts. But we also have a brand new chest and torso completely, which is quite unexpected and a nice change instead of just doing something that would have been a straight up redeco and repaint. So you have that whole new torso, that whole new chest, and then you have these new shoulder guards that cover the shoulder itself to make a new and different look for that upper torso overall. Now, mind you, the stock photo here, unfortunately, one of those guards are kind of mistransformed and it's not covering the shoulder completely, which is kind of a shame on the photographer to do that. They should have made sure that the final product looked nice, but you get the general idea of what they were going for here when you compare it to the Ratchet and how different it does look, and it makes the whole figure look different, especially the upper body. So that's pretty awesome. Weapon-wise, they both come with the same axe weapon that's featured in the game as their melee weapon. But this time around, Ironhide comes with a different, I guess we'll call it a pistol weapon compared to the Ratchet. Similar to that, the gun that comes with the Ironhide, it looks very similar to the Voyager class War for Cybertron Starscream, which had this like sniper scope weapon. But you could clearly see there's a different tooling between the two, so it is a different weapon from that of the Seeker, but still kind of has the same vibe of what it's trying to go for. Maybe I'm missing something here, but they do look different, but similar. So he does come with a different weapon, at least from the Ratchet, but something very similar to what Starscream has, but it's still different. Very weird. Overall, honestly, I think they did a very good job capturing the CG model into this action figure. And I mean, yeah, sure, the red and the grays are far from how they look in the game. I mean, it's hard to get that gritty, metallic, dark look of the War for Cybertron video games with an already limited paint deco budget for mass retail at a Voyager class. It's something that, in all honesty, maybe in the future, maybe we'll get a Japanese premium finish line with big budget paint schemes and for people who are willing to pay a little more for screen accuracy. But I think for what we got here, at least silhouette-wise and engineering-wise and shape-wise, I think he came out great. And Ironhide was a fun character to play in the game, so it's just something that's really awesome to see that. And he turned out pretty darn well, in my opinion. No doubt this will be part of the next Hasbro Pulse fan stream that we're going to be expecting at some point in December. So we'll see what happens with that. Supposedly that same fan stream, we had teasers of it at the MCM Comic-Con. We had the deluxe class Bumblebee movie Volkswagen Beetle Bee. We had that deluxe class Dark of the Moon Q, which finally we'll see better images of. The leader class Age of Extinction Optimus Prime, which hopefully is going to look better, which probably won't be, unfortunately, judging by its mold origins. And we have yet to see anything yet of the Studio Series Deluxe Class Age of Extinction Widowmaker, which we've been told recently is going to be renamed the KSI Widow due to avoiding trademarks problems with the Overwatch brand with Blizzard. And we still have nothing on that Deluxe Class Transformers 1 Starscream that we're supposed to get to. So, like I always say, all with time, all of this will be known to us and we will know. But let me know what you think about the Ironhide and what's happening with all this recent Transformer video game stuff in Studio Series and what's going on with that. But very, very cool, and I'm very happy with how it turned out, and hopefully we'll learn more in the very, very near future. And thanks again for listening to the Transformer Slag podcast, and I'll talk to you, like I said, in the near future.
Transformers.